Hello and welcome to August 8th, where we're going to be reading Job 19 through 23. If you have kept up with the readings that we've been doing in Job, you know exactly what's going to be said here, and so I can keep this pretty short. These chapters record Job's answer to Bildad, Zophar's answer to Job's answer to Zophar, Eliphaz part 3, and part of Job's answer to Eliphaz part 3, and then we'll, see the rest of that, but we'll have to wait until next week. Nothing changes. Again, each chapter is somewhat unique, but it's also pretty similar. Job answers Bildad in chapter 19 by saying, I'm not that bad of a person. I don't know what you're on about. In chapter 20, you get Zophar speaking up. And Zophar says, Job, have you thought that maybe you are a bad person? Actually, no, you are a bad person because you're suffering. And Job says in chapter 21, I'm not a bad person. I'm just suffering anyway. Well, Eliphaz tries something else in chapter 22. He says, Job, you're a bad person. But then, and this is the first time there's actually been an accusation of substance, so this is noteworthy. In chapter 21, he says essentially, you aren't your wickedness, isn't your wickedness abundant? Aren't your iniquities endless? In verse 5 of chapter 22, you took collateral from your brothers without cause. You stripped off their clothes and left them naked. You gave no water to the thirsty. You withheld food from the famished. This is the first accusation of something Job's actually done that's bad. And I find it odd that you have to go 22 chapters to actually hear someone say, Job, here is what you have done bad. I don't think Job actually did any of this. I think Eliphaz is making stuff. Personally, you can have a different opinion on that. I think Eliphaz is making stuff up. And so Job answers Eliphaz in chapter 23, and guess what he says? I'm not that bad of a person. I really don't know what's going on here. That's the book of Job in a nutshell. We'll go through another 15 chapters of that, and then we'll run into something very interesting, and then God will talk, which is fascinating, and then we'll have the end of the book. So keep up with that. We'll see you next week, where we're going to be starting in Job 24. We'll read through the end of that book, and then we'll get into Psalms, and I have no idea how I'm going to summarize Psalms, but we're going to make it work.